Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. If you're watching the replay, thanks for dropping in. So today I am working on Springtime Beauty from Diamond Art Club. Been working on it for a few weeks now. It is 76 by 60, which is 29.9 inches by 23.6. Not a huge one for Diamond Art Club, but not a small one either. So I'm over halfway. And I now have the canvas upside down so I can reach it. So I am actually sitting here, but I turned the camera so it's the right way up for you. So just remembering what I'm on before I do the wrong thing. Sometimes when you've been doing a lot of the one colour and you change and then get distracted, you forget that you've changed the colour. So just making sure that I'm putting the right colour down. I don't want to pick them all back out again. So it's been a pretty busy week for me. Haven't had much time to do any diamond painting, so this one's taken a bit longer than I thought. I was hoping to have it finished by the end of this month, but realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. So I did something a bit different today. I went into Copenhagen and bought some haggis. I found out there's a butcher in Copenhagen who actually makes his own haggis. So I have never tried haggis that hasn't been made in Scotland. So we're going to have that for dinner tomorrow. Looking forward to it. It looks good. It looks like the genuine thing. The haggis is in a sheep's stomach, which it should be. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Danish spin on haggis. Actually, I just got an email from Diamond Art Club. The new releases are out. I'm going to have a look. I am definitely on a no buy just now. So just going to have a look and see what the new ones are. Okay, so we have a squirrel with some birds, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Magnolia Moon, Friendship, Primary Connection, and Cancer, Lilith, and Drawn to the Light. So, a quick look. Yes, I have to put the phone upside down. So these are the new ones this week. So nothing on there that is going to make me break my no buy, but I am pretty determined this time to stick to it for quite a while. I have a lot of diamond paintings that I really want to get done, so I don't want to add to the list. So I'm doing this one a little bit differently. Normally I work in sections. I use release paper, which is this stuff. So I have the whole canvas covered with release paper, and I work section by section. I'll take the release paper off and do whatever is underneath it, and then move to the next one, to the next one. So this is the one that I'm working on just now, but you can see I've missed this part. That's deliberate because I'm going to do something a bit different. I've decided in this picture there are 3 birds, and I'm going to do the canvas and leave the birds out, and then I'm going to do the birds as 3 individual time lapses for Instagram and YouTube short. So they will be coming up at some point in the future. Just let you see what the picture is. It looks like that. So at the moment, I'm just working around the yellow bird here. I don't know if these birds are actually real birds. They aren't. Well, this one, it does look like a bird that you get in the UK or Denmark. It looks like a coal tit, but I don't know. I'm guessing that this American company, I'm guessing American artist, American birds. Don't know if they're real. We don't have any birds that look like this in Denmark or the UK. We don't have any that look like this. The coal tit is very similar to this. I don't know if that's what it is, but the markings in the head are virtually identical. In the UK, we've got a bird called the yellowhammer, but it isn't as bright as this. I mean, this is basically canary yellow with the black wings and tail, little black cap as well. So if anybody does know, are these birds real? Could you let me know what they are? Especially this one, this blue and sort of yellowish peachy colour. I've never seen a bird like that. I don't know if it's just made up or if it is actually a real species of bird. I'd be quite interested to hear if anybody does know what they are. If you just put a little comment in, I would appreciate that. So back to work. So using tweezers, I usually do, in fact I always do, with squares, sometimes with rounds as well. I find that some round drills tend to slide when you try tweezers. If I find that's happening, I just use a pen. But if I find that I can pick the rounds up, I'll use them. These are my sort of new-ish tweezers. Ceramic tips. I keep going the wrong way because the camera's upside down. These ceramic tips, I'm really liking them. The tweezers are heavier than what I was used to, a bit thicker, but this area here where I hold them is wider, and I feel it gives me better control over just how much pressure to use to pick up a drill without pressing too hard, because normally the problem when people try to use tweezers for the first time, you find that the drills ping, and it's because you're squeezing too hard. Now, if you're using the really what I would call tin tweezers, I'll find some in the Quality Street tin. That's where you obviously keep your diamond painting stuff. Tweezers like these, you get them a lot in the kits, in the cheaper kits, I would say. They are very flimsy. I don't know what they're actually made of, but I just say tin. It feels like tin. They are extremely soft. When you're moving them, it takes no pressure. It's hard to get the pressure just right. In fact, you have to press really hard to try and pick up a drill. So the drills tend to ping off, and that's what puts people off. If you compare, I need to remember the camera's upside down. So if you compare these tweezers to these tweezers, you can see the gap here is much, much wider than these, and the tweezers are much thicker. These are made of steel. So when I try and squeeze these, there's no resistance. It's they're too easy to squeeze. They're very soft. They're very bendable. You just struggle with them. And I think that puts people off trying to use tweezers because they maybe get a set like this in the kit. They try and use them. They can't use them and they give up. If you get better quality tweezers, not necessarily these ones, but these are definitely my favourites. The other ones back in the tin. You get ones like these. These happen to be Diamond Art Club, and these, but they are much better quality. Oops, bumped the table. But these are steel, and again you can see they open quite far. And again, but if you look at, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, yeah, I'm on a tilted table, so this is one of the joys of tilted tables. Here's my tray. So you can see, hopefully, that these are wider than these ones. They actually curve a bit that way, like in, whereas these sort of go straight out. But compared to the tin ones that I just showed, these are much better. They're steel. You've got to press a decent bit. They are very sharp though, very sharp. And they come with a little cap, so you don't accidentally stab yourself. The ceramic tweezers, on the other hand, aren't sharp enough to cut you. I mean, I can hit that quite hard. I can feel it, but if I hit these ones with the same pressure, it would be drawing blood. I find that these tips, they are sort of flat at the very end and not to a definite point. So it means when you pick up the drills, they actually hold more of the side of the drill. But to me, the main thing is this gap up here. You find that if you are adjusting the tweezers to try and pick up a drill, it's very easy to get it just right to pick it up without squeezing it too hard. Because, like I said, if you squeeze too hard, the drills tend to just shoot across the room. When I use these, or even these, once you get used to them, if I drop a drill, it just basically lands somewhere around here, wherever the tweezers are. It doesn't shoot across the table, shoot across the room. So the other thing is, I see sometimes people are using them, they hold the tweezers way down at the tip and squeeze that. Again, you're putting too much effort into it. If you go back up to about the middle, you don't need much pressure, and you can be much more accurate, I find anyway. So I've decided ceramic tips are definitely my favourite to use now. But these ones are sort of custom tweezers. You get this sort of fancy stuff. Now, this is, I'm going the wrong way again. This is done by hand with enamel or something. And it gives a sort of extra curve on the top, I think. So what I've done is I ordered a pair of ceramic tip tweezers, just standard. I just went on Amazon, typed in ceramic tip tweezers, and ordered the pair. I've got them. I've started doing an unboxing, but I want to compare them directly to these to see if this enamel on them makes any difference. I just find them very comfortable, but I think the main thing is the tension. It's really easy just to get it right. Like I can just sort of set the gap. So it's very easy to get just the right pressure to pick up a drill. I don't know why that yellow one wants to slide, but the black one doesn't. That's weird. Anyway, so like picking up, when I'm using tweezers, I always turn the tray so that when I'm picking up, the tweezer tips are in between the ridges. I see people having the tray like this and picking them up like that. You can do it. I mean, you can definitely do it. But I just feel it's easier if you tilt it or turn it this way. Then the tweezers are down in the slot, so it's easier just to pick it up. Whereas when you're picking it up this way, you're sort of grabbing the drill a bit higher up. I think if you do it this way, you get a better hold of the drill. Just my thinking. The other thing about using tweezers is basically what you're doing is you're lining the tip with the line of the box, so you can actually see it rather than using a pen. You can see exactly where you're putting the drill, and it's very easy to just push them about to get them exactly where you want. So when I'm doing a checkerboard in an open area, which I don't want to do any of the bird, so I guess this little bit will be okay. So I just place that drill there, and then I place another one diagonally up, and another one diagonally up, and there's nothing in the way of the legs of the tweezer while I do that. But when I come back to fill it in, especially that one in the centre there, what I do is I just drop the drill, and then I just push it in, and you still get that click. Like people talk about the click. So when you're filling the gaps in, you're just basically like here. If I just do this and get a little tiny checkerboard going. So now I've got like the gaps here. I just drop it, push it in, drop it, push it in. This one's a bit different because I've got one side that I can get in. So I tend to drop it a bit high and then slide it back. And that's just the way that I use the tweezers. So you're not trying to put them down with the tweezer because obviously they won't fit. So you just, that one's got a bar on it. See a tiny bar. If the drills have any little bits sticking out at all, I don't use them. I always make sure the drills are perfectly clean. I don't want them pushing other drills around. My wife has watched me and said, you won't use that one. Nope. She will if they're just tiny little bumps. She will use them. But I don't, because I know I've got more than I need. So I don't need to be looking at little bumps and saying, well, I think it'll be okay. I just don't use any with any little bits sticking out. And that works for me. So when I do a section, what I do is I just put my finger over it, see if I can feel any raised drills. And feel something just here. So what I would do is, normally I just use my finger or my fingernail, tip my finger up and use my nail to press it. But if I can't really figure it, I'll use the tweezers just to get it totally flat. But once I finish this section, I'll get a little roller. This was actually something I bought just out of curiosity. I wasn't really thinking it was going to be that great. But a roller like this, the actual roller is made of rubber. Before this, I was using the kitchen rolling pin, so a full-sized wooden rolling pin. And what I would do is put a tea towel down to cushion it a bit, and then I would use the rolling pin like two hands and flatten the drills. Now I do the section. When it's finished, the little roller is actually nearly exactly the same size as the section. So if you imagine that this was the section I was doing, you can see the roller's pretty close to the same size. And then I would just roll it, and then I go across the way, and then that's it. But when I've finished the complete diamond painting, I'll go over the whole thing again with the little roller. It's handy, it's easy just to stick in the drawer. Like I said, I was using a full-size kitchen rolling pin, so I had to go to the kitchen and get the rolling pin. And now I just keep this little roller in the drawer. And because it's a rubber roller, I don't need to put a dish towel down or anything. So it works really well. It was one of the things that didn't really think I needed. But it turned out it's actually, I prefer it to using the big kitchen roller. And I think my wife prefers that as well. So put these tweezers back. Get back to doing some diamond painting. As I said, I've been sort of struggling to find time to diamond paint the past week or so. So I just thought I would put the camera on, see if anybody drops in that wants to chat. If not, that's fine. People can look if they want. So I'm trying to sort of guess what is the outline of the bird's tail here and what isn't, because there's a dark area behind this flower. You can't actually see the symbols because the light's hitting exactly on it. I need to move it. Don't know where to move it. It's a bit too far. But I'm trying to guess. I think this area here is background. The tail is further over. So I'll do this little piece here. And the idea is I want to do the picture, complete it, but there's 3 birds in this for anybody that's maybe just dropped in. This is what I'm working on, and I'm working on this area here with this yellow bird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the whole picture except the 3 birds, and then I'm going to do the birds as time lapses. So you can basically, or people can see the bird basically being created in time lapse. I'll put them up as 3 different YouTube shorts, and I'll put them on Instagram as well. So it's just an idea. I thought it might look quite cool when the background's all done and then you just see the bird building up and then it's finished. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so I'm sort of guessing. I think this is shadow. To there. Yeah. I think I'll maybe leave that at that. I'll do another couple here. Excuse me. So all of this is the bird, so I'll do this little piece here and then I'll move on to a different colour. And then a little tab. Another 3 here. You can see that's the background, that's shadow. And let's say that was it for that colour. I'll put them back. I just noticed I missed one symbol. Happens all the time. Get that just now. Oops. So when I'm working on a kit that has a lot of one colour, I use these containers. They hold about 10,000 drills in each section. So very handy. They're called Craftmates Lockables. These are Craftmates Lockables 2XL or XXL. I can't remember how they name it. But it's double XL, and they have a little button here. So when you press the button, it moves. I don't know if you can see it for the light, but it moves that little. It moves that little purple bar, which opens the box. If it's like that, these lids can't open, so you can't accidentally open them or drop it and they all pop open. The only thing is, and I have heard it happening, people dropping them and they're very unlucky and it lands on the button, which obviously opens all of them. So it hits the floor on that button and everything suddenly opens and all the drills come out. Bit of a nightmare. But normally, you would hold the button in, and then you just pop the lid of the one that you want. You put it back, it clicks, and then it's locked again. Just find them very, very handy if you're using a lot of the same colour. So just noticed I missed more than one of the next one. The symbol is T, and the number is, where are you? 58. So normally I use the Tic Tacs. I know a lot of people don't like them because they don't hold a lot of drills. They hold about 1,000. But I use them. I find they work very well for me. And then I found a use for the green tray that nobody likes. When I'm working on a colour, I put it in the tray. Then I know exactly where it is because I've done it before where I've been working on things. I pour the drills in the tray and then I put the little container back in beside the rest, and then I forget what colour I was doing. It's very annoying. So I'm now in the habit of, when I take the small ones out, I put them in the green tray, and then I know that is the one that I'm working on, and I know where it is because I tend to move things about as I'm working. So sometimes when you put these things down, you're sort of looking, thinking, where did I put it? It's always in the green tray. So I found a use for the green tray. Okay, I've got about, I don't know, 30 of them, but I found a use for one. Right, so symbol T. I thought I'd only missed one. This one here. Oops. But I noticed this little row here is the same one. So I always do checkerboard, even when it's, what is there here? 5 drills. I don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done 2, 4. So I've got the checkerboard pattern, even though it's a straight line, and then 1, 2, 3. I just always use the checkerboard, even on 3. If I have 3, I'll put a drill in the middle and one on either side. Just a habit. I don't even think about it. Okay, so I think that's all the T's this time. So there's a few AB drills in this one, Aurora Borealis. Drills that have a special coating on them. I'll pour some because I've got some in this part. So these are Aurora Borealis, which I don't think show that well on camera, but they have a special coating on them. When they catch the light, they reflect different colours. Like just looking at it just now, I can see purple, red, gold, green, yellow, and that's pretty much it. The actual drills are brown, but they give just a little highlight when you're walking past. They just shimmer a bit more than the rest. So I noticed they're using them for the stamen of the flowers, which will make them a little bit more sparkly than the rest. It's a really nice effect. I think it works best if it's sort of sparse, not the whole thing. ABs. For me, it's too blingy if it's like that. I mean, the drills are nice and sparkly as it is, but ABs just give a nice little effect when you see the sort of the different colours reflecting back. I've actually got more than the stamen of the flowers this time. But it just highlights things. Just got a message popped up. Okay. So now I'm doing the one. So there I had 3. So I've done the middle one as usual, and then I do one either side. Again, it's purely habit, just doing these checkerboard patterns. So again, like I dropped that and it just landed here. If you squeeze too hard, the drills shoot across the table or across the room, depending how hard you're pressing. So if you're trying to use tweezers and the drills are just shooting off the end of the tweezers, it's because you've done it too hard. I mean, you can try just practicing, like I said earlier. If you get the tray so that when the tweezers go down, they're in the slot. They're not going across, like they're not this way, where you've got a ridge either side where you're trying to pick them up, because you're giving yourself less area to try and pick up, makes it a little bit more difficult. If you turn it this way, your tweezers are sitting down at the base of the drill, so you're getting a better grip of the sides. You're not sort of gripping half of it. What you can do is, instead of trying to use it on a diamond painting and they're pinging and flying about all over the place, what you could do is just spend a little bit of time, pick a drill up and move it into a different row, and then pick another one up and put it in the same row and just sit and do that. That was a bit of glue. When you use tweezers, you'll find that over time you start to get glue on the very tip, because it's touching the glue when you're putting the drills down, so it starts to get a bit sticky. So sometimes you'll get that. Sometimes you're picking up a drill and the one next to it sticks to the outside of the tweezers. That happens, and that's what's happening here. It's catching on one tip and it's dropping on one side and then sort of flipping over. Can be annoying, but it doesn't really bother me. But if it's bothering you, you can just wipe the tip to take the glue away. I mean, you can't even feel it, but it does help. So then it's just all you're doing is picking them up and putting them in the same row, just as a bit of practice. So you're doing it and the drills aren't pinging about in the tray. And then even if you do drop them, and you will, I mean, you drop them every now and again, it's no big deal. But they will land roughly where your tweezers are. They won't fly across the room. And that's the point. It's just getting used to how much pressure you need, and you don't need a lot, but I definitely find it better if I hold the tweezers back. Well, I've got my thumb sort of supporting it here, and my fingers are there. And it's very gentle. Hi, Chantel. Thanks for sneaking in. Yeah, so I mean that's maybe an idea if you want to try and use tweezers. Just pick drills up and put them in one little row, and then maybe just move them from there to a different row until you feel confident that you're not going to ping the drills all over the place. And once you've got that, like how much pressure, it's pretty easy. How far have I gotten? I have gotten to this yellow bird, which is like here. So I'm working on this part here. I've done all of this, another row and another row. So I've started here and I'm working along here, just what to about the neck. So I've got a row to finish here and then one row along the top. Hi Claire, I've been lurking as I cannot get your live on my laptop properly, very laggy. Sorry to hear that. That's annoying. I had a lot of problems at one time trying to do lives. Chantel will probably remember. I would go on and then it would start to lag, and it was the problem was at our end. But I'm sure it was something wrong with the software, like the YouTube stuff. I got in touch with them so many times, and they kept telling me the same things, and everything was fine at this end. Really fast internet connection. Nothing else was having problems. It was only YouTube Lives. And then one time I got back to them again, and they said to me, "Are you using any other software? Like, you get these things where you can stream on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and everything all at the same time." They were saying, "Are you using anything like that?" And I said, "No, I'm using YouTube. Just that's it, YouTube software and nothing else." And they said, "Okay." And then the next time I tried it, it worked. I think they reset something somewhere, and it was very frustrating. It was frustrating for people trying to watch. It was frustrating for me trying to live stream, and people were saying, "Oh, you're lagging, it's cutting out," and then it would just freeze, and it was just. Then you start to think, "Why am I even wasting my time doing this?" So I'm sure it was something in their software, and they reset something positive of it. But it's working, and I'm quite happy. But I only stream on YouTube. I don't do live multi-channel stuff. I prefer just to stick to one thing. In the past, I used to live stream. It was nothing to do with diamond painting, but I used to live stream when wandering around Copenhagen and letting people see Copenhagen. And I used an app called Periscope, and that was all I used. People said to me, "You should do YouTube," but I never. I had started off with Periscope. I liked it, but eventually Periscope closed down. And then I got interested in diamond painting, and then I thought, right, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to do YouTube? Am I going to do Facebook? Am I going to do Twitch? Because I knew once I picked one and started, I would stick to that format. So I decided on YouTube, and I still get people trying to talk me into going to Twitch, but I still feel that Twitch is a gaming thing. Like, it's gamers more than anything. Maybe it's changed, but I don't want to try and get used to it. And the other thing about Twitch is I don't like all these pop-uppy things and coins flipping about and stuff. I don't like that. The reason I like Periscope was basically you just hit go live, and that was it. There were no icons or things flashing or anything. You just went live. There was a little chat, a bit like this, and people could talk and I could talk back and forward. And I like the simplicity of that. I don't like it when it's all complicated on the screen and there's things dancing about all over the place. I just don't like it. So I'm quite happy with YouTube. I don't actually think I've got that far, Chantel, because I feel I haven't spent a lot of time sitting down diamond painting over the past couple of weeks at least. But yeah, so I've still got stacks of stuff to unbox and review and all that stuff. I keep getting more stuff and more ideas and making notes. And then I find, right, okay, I've got a bit of time. This is what happened last time as well. It was right, okay, I've got time. Do I go live and get a chance to talk to people, or do I record another unboxing, unbagging, whatever? And I actually prefer to do this when people come in. It's a bit boring when nobody's here, but when people start coming in, we get a little bit of chat going. I like that. It's a bit different for me, and I never know what we're going to talk about because people come in and we just start talking. And when Claire and Chantel have been in quite a few times, and sometimes it's just totally random stuff we talk about. I quite like that. The news for today is I went into Copenhagen earlier today and I bought haggis. I found out there is a butcher in Copenhagen that makes haggis. So I went in and got one. And it's real. It's a real one. Like it's in the stomach. It's not in like a plastic wrapping or anything. It's like it looks really good. So we're going to have that for dinner tomorrow. So I'll report back on the Danish haggis. I'm really curious to how it tastes because obviously I'm from Scotland, and I know even in Scotland, depending where you buy the haggis, it tastes different. It just depends how they make it. They've got their own sort of secret recipes. And some are better than others, but I've never bought haggis in a country except Scotland. I was very surprised to find out that there's actually a butcher here that makes it. He doesn't buy it in or anything, he actually makes it. So that's going to be interesting. Okay, finish with the ABs, I think. Yeah, is it still? I mean, I had quite a few friends on Periscope who were musicians, and they use Periscope for that live streaming, playing music and like playing music, not like playing CDs, actually playing music, like playing guitar, singing, that sort of thing. And they had pretty big followings on Periscope, and then it all closed down. So I think quite a few of them went across to Twitch, and they seem to be doing okay. There was another live streaming app that opened, and they said there was a sort of replacement for Periscope, and I forget the name of it. They were trying to talk me into going back and doing the tours around Copenhagen, but I think it was right before Corona started, and then suddenly Copenhagen closed down. Nobody was going anywhere, and I thought, I am not going out and walking around Copenhagen in the middle of a pandemic, because at that time there were no vaccines or anything, and people were in hospital and people were dying. And I thought, I am not going out of the apartment unless I really have to. Bet Tammy's pleased. I've been talking about a few. Oh, the haggis. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Tammy was the person that said she was never going to eat haggis. And then we went to Scotland and she tried it, and I think she had haggis every day. So she really liked it. So hopefully it's as good as it is back home. But it's good to know that there is a butcher in Copenhagen that makes it. Okay, number 10. The other thing is, it's when you've been on a platform and you start to build up like a rapport, you get to know people, and then you switch to something else. Trying to start from scratch again is a nightmare. I did go into Copenhagen a while back, and I went and did a live stream on YouTube. Now, I'd been doing Periscope for, I don't know, 3.5 years, and I knew a lot of people. And every time I went on, I would always get people in, always. And sometimes it was a lot of people. I think the best one ever was I went to Sweden and I did a live stream in a place called Lund, and it was Lund Cathedral. I went in there. It was built in something like 1058, and I got featured in Periscope, and I forget how many. It was something crazy, like 13,500 people or something. It was crazy. The comments, I couldn't answer the comments because there was so many comments coming in. But normally I would expect to get maybe, I don't know, 50 to 100 people coming in, and I got to know people really well, and I enjoyed it. So I thought about the YouTube thing. I thought, right, okay, I'll go in and I'll do a live stream on YouTube. And I think maybe 2 people came in an hour, and they came in and just left again, never commented. And I thought, no, this is just too much work trying to get talking to people and getting to know people in a totally different format. So I stuck to Periscope, and then eventually it closed. And then I stopped doing the Periscopes in Copenhagen. I just stopped doing it. And then I got interested in diamond painting, and then I started to think about doing this sort of thing. And then it was that thing, okay, what platform? Because I'm only doing one. Because again, people were saying, oh, you get this app and you can go on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, I think, all at the same time. And I thought, do I really want people in all these formats? It sounded like just too much. So I just said, no, I'll go with YouTube, and that was it. But the one that came up, I forget what it was called. The one that came in and they were saying, "Oh, this is the new Periscope." It lasted maybe a year, and then it just disappeared. I think the chances of YouTube disappearing are pretty slim. Okay, I forgot what I was doing there. Nothing new. Number 10. Yeah, number 10. It's just these 4. So is the lagging that you're getting clear, is it just because of where you are? Periscope was really good. People came, we had a meet-up. People came mainly from England, but I had a guy from 2 people from mainland Denmark came, some people from England, somebody from Sweden, somebody from Norway was meant to be coming but cancelled at the last minute. But we had quite a group, all came to Copenhagen, and they were all live streaming. They were all Periscopers. And we ended up in an Irish pub, and we live streamed that as we had more and more beer. It was hilarious. It was really funny. And we had a really, really good time. And because we'd been talking to each other for most of them at least 3 years, we sort of knew each other quite a bit. We got a bit of banter going. And then when we met up, and added a few beers, it just turned into a really, really good night. So they all enjoyed it, so I was quite happy. I mean, you got the trolls. You always got the trolls. But you get used to it. After a while, it doesn't matter. You don't even think about it. You just don't take anything to heart when people come in and start trolling. There were a few people on Periscope who were really good but left because they couldn't handle the trolls. They were all women, but I think it's a lot harder for women to go out there and like go live to the world, and then they start getting hounded by guys, and it just sort of ruins the whole thing. But I mean, a lot of them are like, I don't see why I should waste my time and put up with this, and they're quite right. I don't think. I think if I had been female and was getting a lot of what they were getting, I would have stopped as well. It's just like, why am I even doing this? So, yeah, it's the internet though. The downside of the internet, but there are a lot of positives. Okay, I think I'll start on the flowers. 32. I mean, we even had a thing going on Periscope. Sometimes instead of going into Copenhagen, Tammy would cook, and we had a thing that we just called it Tammy's Kitchen, and she would make things and show people how she made them. Like one time we would do like some traditional Danish food, and she would show people how to make it. And then the next time it would be something that she came up with, and then the next one would be Danish, and then one would be Tammy's. People really liked that. And people watched it, and then they tried to make it, and then they would send us pictures, like to let us see. Some of the periscopers actually went live, and they tried to make whatever it was, and on their channel. It was really good. Right, I just put that in the wrong place. I'm glad I noticed it. It wasn't that where I was going to start. I was going to start here. So it's V, which is 32. So how is everybody? Anything exciting been happening? Anybody get married or anything? Finding haggis was definitely my highlight of the week. Don't know what that was. What about vacations? Anybody got vacations planned? Now that we're heading into spring. Quite appropriate for this diamond painting, Springtime Beauty. Tammy's watching Wednesday just now. Her and her youngest daughter, who was at the dentist yesterday and got 2 wisdom teeth removed, so she's got stitches. So she's recuperating. So Tammy's babysitting her. I mean, she's 23, but she's still making sure she's got water, and she can't eat anything yet. It's going to be a few days, I think, before she can do that. So she's just on pain medication and putting ice on the swelling. But they had to remove them because they said that the way the roots were going, there was a good chance she was going to end up getting infections like in her gum, which would be worse than getting the teeth out. So she went yesterday. Took about an hour, I think she said. I went to the dentist in Denmark a few years ago to get an eye tooth removed. That's like the long pointy one, that's got the longest route that goes up basically to your nostrils. I had to get that out. I can't remember what happened to it. I think I broke it. It broke somehow. Yeah, that's what happened. It broke, and it was flat, like there was no tooth. The root was still there, and they couldn't do anything to try and fix it. And they said, we're going to have to take that root out before it starts to cause problems. So that's what they were doing, and they found out that the root of the tooth was actually fused to the bone in the socket. So they had to cut my gum open and use the drill to go around the edge of the socket and my tooth, and basically just grind it and grind it and grind it until it came away. He wore out 3 drill heads, and it took 2 hours. That is the worst time I've ever had at the dentist. So I've gone quiet because when it gets quiet like this, unless I have a specific thing that I'm talking about, like the haggis, which I've already spoke about, I tend to just go quiet and just concentrate on the diamond painting until somebody comments, because it's like trying to guess what people want to talk about. It's just easier if I just wait until somebody comments, even if they just come in and say hi. It sort of gets a bit of conversation going. So if that doesn't happen, for people who are listening on the replay, you're maybe sitting diamond painting, and then it suddenly goes very quiet. It's just because there's no conversation going, which is fine. I mean, I know that people could be diamond painting while they're listening to this. They could be driving, they could be whatever, doing housework or just waking up. Some people like to just drop in and listen. They don't really like to comment. Again, it's fine. Everybody's different. It was the same in Periscope. I would get people. Periscope was a bit different because I could see who was in. I could, without having to click on anything, I could see who was there, and I would start to see the same names coming in, and they wouldn't comment or talk at all, but I would start to see the same names. So I thought, okay, they are enjoying seeing Copenhagen or whatever it is, but they don't want to talk, which is absolutely fine. It's just in case you're sitting there listening to the replay and then thinking, why is it gone quiet? Chantel's probably left. She's probably went out into the mountains to wrestle a grizzly bear or something. Everybody needs a hobby. I'm trying to think what I've got for reviewing. I've got one Diamond Art Club. I've got, I can't remember, about 4 or 5 Homecraftology. I've got some GBFKE, I think 2 of them. I've got those ceramic tip tweezers to do. I've got a pair of tweezers with magnifying glass. Can't think. That's just things that I've got to open, but I've got ideas for other stuff as well. I write everything in a notebook, and then when I get time, I'll sit and work on the video. But just recently, I haven't had a lot of time, so it's a sort of, will I do a live and talk to people, or will I do another recorded video? And I prefer doing these lives just now, so if you're waiting on unboxings and reviews and things, they are coming. Just not sure when. How long? That's a good question. Let me check Gem's flow. It feels like forever, because I just really haven't had time to concentrate as much as I usually do. Well, yeah, the thing is, I sort of got sidetracked as well. Well, I remember doing those, those little ones I did, the little ones that are on card. I ended up doing 3 of them just as time lapses. I think the last live I did, I was recording it as a time lapse while I was live. I'll go and get them. So these are just things that I saw outside a local store. Just got me curious. They're definitely aimed at kids. Maybe a good way to get them interested in diamond painting. This was I keep forgetting the camera's upside down. This was the first one. A pup in a cup. Just cute little one. Round drills. I was quite surprised that the key actually has DMC codes. Didn't expect that. And then the next one I did was Polly the Pirate. That isn't actually the name. They don't have names, these ones, so I just make up names. So I did Polly the Pirate next as a time lapse. So the time lapses, I put them on YouTube Shorts and I put them on Instagram. And then the next one was going to be, this is the one that I did as a live. I was doing a live and recording a time lapse at the same time. I was going to call it Dave the Dragon, but before I put the drills down, it looked like the dragon was going to be purple. So I thought, okay, Dave the Dragon. But then while I was working on it, yeah, Claire remembers, but while I was working on it, I found out that what I thought was purple, even though the print was purple, the drills were actually pink. So Dave became Davina. So this is Davina the Dragon. And then I've got one left. I didn't do unboxings of these, but I've kept the last one. I'm going to do an unboxing or unbagging. They don't come in a box. They're just in a cellophane envelope. I'm going to do a review of that, like the opening and looking at the kit, all that stuff. And then I'll do a time lapse of that as well. I've actually been back and had a look to see what other ones I've got, because I find them quite good, because they take, I don't know, an hour and a half. Well, that last one I was talking a lot as usual, but this took a lot. I'll get used to this camera being upside down yet. But that one took a lot longer, or it felt like it took a lot longer than that one, because it's got a lot more drills. This one, a lot of no glue, so the partials. This one was a lot faster, even the pup, because again the background is white, so no drills. But the dragon had a lot more, so it felt like it took, I don't know how long it took, maybe an hour and a half, something like that, which turned into less than 30 seconds, I think, of video on time lapse. But I think they look okay. I mean, definitely for kids, I think maybe they would get them interested. So yeah, there's one more to come, but I'll do an unbagging of that before I actually do it. I'll probably do it again as a live and a time lapse at the same time. But as I said, I have been back and had a look. They have other ones, so I wouldn't be surprised if I start a little collection of these little card ones. But getting back to Claire's question, how long have I been working on this? Just checking gems flow. Got quite a bit of scrolling to go. I started Springtime Beauty on the 12th of February. So what was that? About 5 weeks? Something like that. I was hoping to get it finished, because it's called Springtime Beauty and the clocks go forward this weekend, I think. I was going to put this up at the beginning of April, but in the canteen at work. But the way it's going, realistically, I don't think I'm going to get it finished in time. So this will be for May. But I mean, I've got plenty that I've finished that I can use. I think I'm going to do the Praying Monk. I don't know if anybody remembers that one. I think I'll put that up for April in the canteen. And then Springtime Beauty will be May. Not sure what I'm doing after this one. I might do a smaller one. I need to have a look through and just see what takes my fancy at the time. I think maybe I'll get away from Diamond Art Club just for a change. I seem to have been doing Diamond Art Club a lot. I think I'll give them a break and choose something else. I might look for a company that I haven't done, like completed yet. There's one in Germany. It was called The Boat. That was original artwork, so that was quite good. The artist gets some sort of commission. It's quite good to hear that. See if I can find it. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm just sort of thinking out loud just now. And a search for boat. It's called The Boat, and it's from Carrot Art, and that's CARAT, not carrot as in the vegetable. So Carrot Art, and they're in Germany. And get it right this time. No, wrong way. Lights and reflections are a nightmare. How about the light away? Yeah. So that's it. It's a bit dull because I have to move the light out of the way because it's reflecting all the time. But it's basically a rowing boat on the beach at sunrise or sunset, probably sunset, and a seagull sitting on the boat. So something a bit different. Can't remember the size though. I don't think it's that big. I haven't. This is the only one that I've got from that company, so I haven't done it yet. So it'll be interesting just to see what the canvas is like, what the drills are like. It's a 50 by 75. Personally, I prefer the bigger ones. I'm trying to remember the size. Like I've got a sort of size that I like. I'm just going to check. 60 by 80. That sort of size I like. It's a bit annoying that the light shines on the phone, but this was a custom that I did of try and move it. It's weird when it's upside down. I have to move it around different. Yeah, you can't see it because I'm turning the light away. That's a bit better. So that was a picture I took of Hans Christian Andersen's statue in Collinshalle in Copenhagen, and then I tweaked it with an art package. 90 colours in that one. Absolutely full of confetti. Absolutely full of it. But I liked it. I like that's the sort of size that I like to work on. But it is good once in a while to just get small ones that don't take too long. Ding from Jacksonville. Getting moved, not ooh, getting moved. Hi Virginia, thanks for dropping in. You're moving. It's meant to be one of the most stressful things. Getting married, getting divorced, and moving house. So where are you moving? Are you moving far? Getting moved sounds a bit like moving, but getting moved? Are you sort of being forced to move? Or do you mean you're just getting out of bed and getting moved? Because it's what time is it? Well, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. here. Central Eastern Time will be midday. So yeah, I don't know what time it is for you. Not fun at all, but my 3-bed house is gorgeous. 15 miles from me. Is that how? Did you sell the trailer? Did you advertise it? For sale, crappy trailer. 3-bedroom house sounds nice though. Messed up my lighting now. Shouldn't have done it. Sometimes if I put my hand in the way, it helps. That's a bit better. So do you have a diamond painting room? Oops. No, I rented. You really liked that trailer. You're going to miss it, I can tell. I rented the damn trailer. My husband is moving us with 3 friends and used to. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, we've got a diamond painting room as well. Tammy's eldest moved out and we moved in. So we've got 2 drafting tables in here. All the stash is in here. All the completed diamond paintings are in here. So yeah, we like it. We call it the studio. It was a joke at the beginning. We called it, like, I think I said it first, like, we should call it the diamond painting studio. And then it stuck. So we actually say that now instead of saying Amanda's room, because that's what we said at first. It's just became the studio. So somebody's saying, can't find my phone. Have you checked the studio? Now we don't actually think about it until I talk about it, and I think that sounds kind of weird, but it just became a thing. You know, 3 bedrooms and not one. That's terrible, Claire. Do people occupy the 3 bedrooms? Do you have a spare room? Yeah, we like it. Like just having a room where this is just where we come in and diamond paint. And we, a lot of the times we'll listen to music and stuff. Obviously, I can't do that when I'm on YouTube Live because of copyright. But normally, we're in here sitting talking, and we've got music going in the background. I have a makeup room. A makeup room. How much makeup do you have? My partner has his own room too with all his crap. So you've got all your crap in your room, and he's got all his crap in his room. So you don't have space for a diamond painting table. I think you need to cut back on the makeup if you've got a room full. Are you one of these women that collects shoes, Claire? You have a walk-in wardrobe with 300 pairs of shoes, colour coordinated. Imelda Marcos, I am not. I don't even know who that is. Oops, nearly. Okay, now I'm going to have to Google it. I think I've heard the name, but no idea. The Filipino, is this the right one? The Filipino politician. When Mrs. Marcos died, she had 750. What? So this will be a different one then, because I don't think she's dead. Or was she? Is she? Oh, could be. It just says she was born in 1929. Ah, so that's her. Okay. So she's got all those shoes, and then when they show you a picture of her, you don't even see her shoes. How ironic is that? So she's a criminal. It says criminal status, released on bail pending appeal. And they stole billions of pesos from the Filipino people, amassing a personal fortune estimated to have been worth $5 billion to $10 billion. And they managed to recover 3.6 billion of it. I suppose she could afford 750 shoes, or pairs of shoes. Just imagine how many diamond paintings she would have if she was a diamond painter. Her husband stole money off the butt. That's different. Yeah, well, it doesn't. It has she was born, but it doesn't say death. So yeah, 750 pairs of shoes. Wow. So, do you ladies collect shoes? How many pairs of shoes do you have, Claire? And how about you, Virginia? How many pairs of shoes do you own? Time to fess up. I have two pairs of shoes. An eyelash. I want springtime beauty. Yeah, I mean it's going to look really good when it's done. It's not the biggest diamond painting, but Crocs don't count. I can't even believe you admitted to that, Claire. 6,955 pairs of Crocs. Virginia's 2 pairs of Crocs. They're rubber shoes. In fact, they're plastic shoes. Why do people like them? I have never owned a pair of Crocs. I never will. Million diamond paintings. Yeah. Yeah, I just the thought rubber shoes. Must make your feet sweat. It's like flip-flops, but worse. I don't even know what that is. Plantar fasciitis. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm glad I've got Google. Plantar heel pain is a disorder of the plantar fascia, which is the connective tissue between, lost it, which is the connective tissue which supports the arch of the foot. It results in pain in the heel and bottom of the foot that is usually most severe with the first steps of the day or following a period of rest. Pain is also frequently brought on by bending the foot and toes up towards the shin. The pain typically comes on gradually and affects both feet in about 1/3 of the cases. So basically, you get up and you walk all the time, and it'll be okay. Don't rest. That's my tip of the day. So is your pain on your heel, or is it like between your heel and your toes, or is it on the pad at the front of your foot, just behind your toes? I'm learning things here. I've got a picture with percentages of where the pain is. I was very anti-Crocs for years until Judgment Day. I bought some to help my feet, and they helped. Well, I mean, if they help, they help. But yeah, that's a bit different though. That's for a medical reason you wear them, not for a fashion statement. This is what I like about doing lives. When I came on, I did not know I was going to be talking about shoes or medical conditions of the feet. Imagine someone burning that soft bit out of the arch with a hot thing for hours and it won't go away. So it's the arch that you get the pain. It's just, again, I'm going to get the light in this and it's upside down, so I'll turn the phone. They've got a sort of chart there with percentages of where the pain typically is. Number one, 52% of people get it right in the middle of the heel. And then there's actually 3 different lines here for the arches. So you've got 14% on the inner, 6% in the middle, 5% in the outer, and then 8% in the pad at the front. So 52% right in the middle of the heel, 35% at the back of the heel, 42% on the inner side of the heel and 37% on the outside. So it looks like the heel is the place that the majority of people feel the pain. Doesn't sound very nice, Claire. I'm glad the Crocs help. Is there any reason? Is that because you walk a lot or you stand a lot with your job? Is that something that can develop from that, or is it just you're just unlucky? Whiny Dog Central, yeah. Next colour, 44. I got better 5G reception here. Ooh, 5G. 5G, is that not that one that's spying on everybody or radiating everybody or something? I vaguely remember there was a big thing about 5G. The 5G transmitters were evil, but I can't remember why. I only get 4G. I've had it for 4 years, ever since I started taking care. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because you walk so much. I was just wondering if that's what do they call it? A hazard of the job. I mean, I'm on my feet all the time at work now. The only time that I sit down is when I go for lunch. So far, it hasn't affected me. Horror whips. Oh, I've got yeah, that just reminded me. I've got one. It's a caricature of Ozzy Osbourne. I can't remember where I got it. I've had it for ages. Probably the glue's dried up by now. See if I can find it. Yeah, it's called Crazy Clown. I'm hoping to get this one done for Halloween, but I was going to do it for Halloween last year and just never got around to it. Maybe this year. Justice League by DAC and a generic portrait of a lady in butterflies. Sharon! Yeah, poor Ozzy. I think he's really bad now. We saw Black Sabbath in Copenhagen a few years ago when they did the 13 tour. He was really good. It was the best gig we've been to. We've been to a lot of gigs. Just totally not what we expected because, well, we'd seen him on the Osbournes and we thought, is he even going to remember the words and stuff? He was really, really good. I'm glad we saw him. We went to see 10cc. Don't know if anybody knows 10cc. We went to see 10cc a few weeks ago. And then we went to see. Who did we go and see last? It was only 2 weeks ago. We saw a band called Back in Black, who are an AC/DC cover band. Danish guys. They're really good, really good. Can't remember who we saw before that. And we've got another gig coming up in the middle of April. It's Ozzy going mental with dementia. Yeah, well, he was going mental with a lot of things before the dementia. Got 2 new diamond painting pens from Enablers Outpost. Cool. Yeah, I'm sort of cutting back on the pens now. Still might get some more custom tweezers though, but maybe not. Don't know. I'm trying to concentrate more on getting diamond paintings done than anything else. Yeah, Black Sabbath. Yeah, I had this discussion way back in the 80s with one of my friends when Dio joined Black Sabbath. They kicked Ozzy out because he was just totally had lost the plot. And Dio came in, and Heaven and Hell was released, the album. And we got that and we sat and listened to it. And my friend said something about Dio's like much better singer than Ozzy, and I said, he is, absolutely is. But I said Ozzy is Black Sabbath. And I still think that. It's I think Black Sabbath, as soon as I think Black Sabbath, first thing I think is Ozzy. But yeah, I mean, we're all getting older, and I mean, it's when you think about it, like that was in the 80s. It's quite a while ago. That's why we were trying to go and see all the bands that we used to listen to, like Saxon, the Scorpions, Judas Priest, all of that sort of stuff. Ordered. What are we talking about? Oh, ordered the pen. Yeah, that was what we're talking about. Ordered the pen for your husband. Thought it was black. Turned out it was pink. He'll get used to it. I'm sure he'll take it into work and let his colleagues see what he got. Did Sean really throw a whole ham over the fence? I have no idea what you're talking about. Is this one of Ozzy's stories? Actually, I wouldn't mind getting Ozzy's autobiography. I think that would be quite interesting. How much he can remember, though, would be the problem. But I remember, didn't he get arrested for peeing at the Alamo or something? I liked Slade. Slade and Sweet. They were going about at the same time. Well, don't know if I mentioned this before, but we're going to see Sparks. Don't know if you've heard of Sparks. Yeah, they're American, aren't they? Sparks. They had a big hit in the UK in 1974. Claire will remember that well. Yeah, that's it's like when you get these road trip albums and best 80s rock. It's Here We Go. It's Here I Go Again, Final Countdown, and it's just like it does get monotonous. I've started listening to new bands. We're going to. I peed in a fountain. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just knew he peed and he got arrested. Didn't I didn't realise it was in the fountain. I forget what I was saying. Oh, was he peeing in the fountain distracted me? Talking about. Oh yeah, I was saying. I've started looking at bands that are coming to Copenhagen that are not big names. Okay, Sparks were a big name way back. That's just really a curiosity. I remember seeing them on Top of the Pops in 1974 and seeing the keyboard player and thinking, how weird is that guy? So I went to go and see him. I never actually watched the Osbournes. I never sat down. I saw clips. That was it, bits and pieces. But I never actually watched the thing. But I got the thing about him just like staggering about and all that. And you would think there's no way that guy can do a world tour, but he did, and he seemed to be enjoying it. Um, yeah, it looked like he was just having a good time. Didn't look as if he was like spaced out or anything. You were -2. Yeah, you'll remember it well. We're going to see a Danish band called Black Oak County in the middle of April. I really like them. And they are support for a band called Junkyard Drive. And then I need to look on Ticketmaster because I just got tickets for more. Oh, Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Have you ever heard of them, Claire? They're from the UK. Most people just call him Manfred Mann. Manfred Mann's most famous song probably is Blinded by the Light. Oh yeah, Virginia got it. Do you know who actually wrote the song and performed it first? It wasn't. It's not actually Manfred Mann's song, even though it became their main hit. It was actually written by Bruce Springsteen and performed by Bruce Springsteen 2 years before it became a hit for Manfred Mann. Yeah, wrecked up like a dude, another runner in the night. I always heard that as wrapped up like a douche. That made sense to me. Wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. It's perfect English. Never heard of them. You've never heard the song Blinded by the Light? It's really famous. I can't play it. YouTube wouldn't like it. Sharon threw it. Okay, so Sharon threw it over the neighbour's garden. Yeah, I can believe that. I saw a bit. I've hardly seen any of it, but I saw a bit where he was trying to. What was it he was trying to do? He was trying to get the TV to come up. They've got a TV that rises up at the foot of the bed, and he couldn't figure out the remote control. And he said something about he pressed a button and the shower came on. The Doogie Brothers, yeah, the Doogie Brothers weren't as famous as the Doobie Brothers. I was going to look up who else we're going to see. Ticketmaster. Oh, Seal is touring. Do you know Seal, Claire? Or was that before your time as well? Tickets. Junkyard Drive mentioned that. Oh yeah, we're going to see a band called the Sandmen. They're Danish. Most of their songs in English. Really like them. Just found them by accident and then found out they were playing Copenhagen, so got tickets. Manfred Mann in May. Larkin Poe. Have you ever heard of them, Virginia? Larkin Poe. It's two sisters, and their great cousin was related to Edgar Allan Poe. That's where they took the Poe for the title. Hi, Isabel. I am old enough to remember the band. Which one? Sparks? Manfred Mann? Larkin Poe are a sort of blues, country, rock-ish type thing. Again, that was not. I just find these. Sometimes I search this place we go. It's called Ama Bio. It's quite a small place. It only holds 1,000 people, but we like it. And every now and again, I just look in the website and see who's coming. And I look at names I don't know. Go on Spotify, search for them, have a listen. If I like them, I get tickets. We're going to see Thorbjorn Reisager and the Black Tornado. That's another Danish blues band. We've seen them once before, but they've got a brass section. Really, really good live. So we've seen them before. We're going to see them on the 25th of November. He has a song about a rose. Yeah, that's right. Christopher Monroe's. Oh, everybody knows that he's coming to Copenhagen, but we're not going. Don't really fancy it. Manfred Mann and Sparks. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, I've always called them Manfred Mann. I've never called them Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Well done, Claire. A little star beside your name. I think Sparks is going to be a weird gig. Some of the songs, I think I only know two. I've been watching some YouTube stuff. Some of the songs are just weird. It'll be an experience. Oh, the last thing we went to see after the AC/DC tribute band was Vivaldi's Four Seasons, performed by Copenhagen Strings by Candlelight. That is very different for us. We're normally going to see all these rock bands. That was different, but it was a scam because it said Vivaldi's Four Seasons by Candlelight by Copenhagen Strings. When we went there, the candlelight was actually fake candles, hundreds of them, but they were fake. They were the ones with the switch in the bottom, and you flick the switch and it's a little piece of plastic that looks like a flame. So it should have actually been called Vivaldi's Four Seasons by Fake Candlelight. I want my money back. I should have given them fake money. And when they said, "What's this?" I say, "Well, it's fake candles." That's fair. I'm talking about the Poe set. Well, they aren't actually. Their name isn't Poe, but they're great something's cousin knew Edgar Allan Poe. But when I read that, I thought, oh, Edgar Allan Poe. I remember getting stuff at school. So I went online, searched them, and then I found The Black Cat. I thought, oh yeah, I remember that. And I was thinking, I wonder if it would be an idea to do podcasts reading short stories and just call it Stories for Diamond Painters. Basically, where all I do is read a story and people can diamond paint while they listen to the story. Because I know a lot of people listen to things while they're diamond painting. Maybe not watch things because it's a bit of distraction, try to concentrate on your diamond painting. So that was something that I thought about, maybe short stories for diamond painters. What do you think of that idea? Would anybody be interested? I could do The Black Cat at Halloween. But I would need to make sure that nothing's copyrighted. But I already checked that. All of Edgar Allan Poe stories and poems are public domain, as are Hans Christian Andersen. So I could do any Hans Christian Andersen stories. And there's also websites where you can find like new writers who put stuff up in public domain just in the hope that people listen to them. So I was thinking maybe I could do that. Just find some story, just random, but nothing long, like nothing like chapter 1 week, chapter 2, chapter 3, just a short story. Like basically I start reading it, I just read the whole story and it's done. And then it goes up as a podcast, but it goes under the title Short Stories for Diamond Painters. And then it ties in with this. So I was just thinking about it last night. Fresh idea. Don't know if it would work. Yeah, the Little Match Girl. Yeah, I think that's quite a long one. But yeah, I could. The Little Match Girl could do that. And The Ugly Duckling, and The Little Mermaid, and The Emperor's New Clothes. Quite a lot. I think there's 168 stories or something. But some of Hans Christian Andersen's stuff is mega short, like mega. Like I did one I started doing podcasts when I was doing IC Copenhagen, and I was starting to read Hans Christian Andersen stories in chronological order, but I found some that are I can't remember now. One that's called something like "This One's for You" or something like that. It's "Fable is for You," something like that. And I think the story actually lasted about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. That's too short. But I was thinking about just trying to find ones that I'm not reading forever, like long things, but just basically no editing or anything. Just basically sit here, load the thing up on the iPad, and then just sit and read it. Any ums, ehs, ahs, and mistakes just are put in with it. Just as is type thing. I don't want to spend time editing and trying to perfect it and stuff. It would just be reading a story, and it's something for people to listen to while they diamond paint. That was the idea. So I don't know. I'll just maybe just do one and see what the feedback is, because it does tie into diamond painting. It's just something for people to listen to, and I would probably just mix stories up different. Like I said, I'd try and pick some unknown authors as well, and just see what people think, rather than concentrating on Hans Christian Andersen or Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, I'd be doing them, but not like all the time. I mean, that's like a never-ending story. I mean, so many. But if people would be interested in it, if you're watching the replay, I'd be very interested to hear if you would be interested in that or not. Isabel would be, Claire would be, and Virginia would be. I mean, that's a good start. But if you dropped in the replay and you're skipping through and you just happen to have got to this part, please let me know in the comments if you would be interested in hearing some short stories narrated by me while you diamond paint. I could maybe do little competitions. What kind of story? Or if you have any short stories that you like, let me know, that sort of thing. But it needs to be, excuse me, it needs to be public domain. I don't want to get caught up in copyright stuff. I don't know why this just popped into my head, just talking about books. I've no idea what age it would be. But I remember having a collection of books about Mr. Pinkwhistle. Now that sounds iffy, thinking about it. But they were called Mr. Pinkwhistle, something or other, Mr. Pinkwhistle. And they were hardback books that I don't know what they were. I don't know if they were really short stories. I mean, I'm guessing obviously aimed at kids, but I can't remember. I don't know why that came into my head. Now I'm curious. Google is my friend. The more I think about that Pinkwhistle, it's a bit iffy. Mr. I think it was one word. Yep, it's 2 words. Mr. Pinkwhistle Books. The Adventures of Mr. Pinkwhistle. Ah, I never knew that. Written by Enid Blyton. Enid Blyton was an English children's writer whose books have been worldwide bestsellers since the 1930s. I don't think I would read them. I don't think there's many diamond painters in that age group. Okay, so it says Mr. Pinkwhistle is half brownie, half human, and he can make himself invisible. He uses his magic trick alongside his ability to communicate with animals to right all the wrong things he comes across. So that was Mr. Pink Whistle. I can't remember anything except the name. Enid Blyton. And I'm not reading 50 Shades of Grey, Claire. Atlas Shrugged or The Fountainhead. What is that book names? What are you talking about? Ah, right, wait a minute. I never noticed the comments went up. Spats was really strange. I've seen them. Oh, you've seen them, really? Cool. Believe it or not, when my muscle spasms get bad, I listen to the Magic Flute and Dance of Sugar. Yeah, I quite like classical music now and again. Your idea works for me. As you can work on, a lot of much. Oh yeah, I missed that whole part before that. Okay, I'm gonna. Are these short stories? They're not like War and Peace or something. I mean, I'm thinking something that lasts maybe 30 minutes, something like that. Because if I keep talking, my voice just totally disappears. Okay, hang on. I've got a pen. Yeah, that's something I could maybe do as well. Suggestion. Keep knocking the camera. Ask for suggestions for short stories. Atlas Shrugged. What? It's a weird title. The Fountainhead. (1,244 pages. How big's the print? I'm just like I said, I just started thinking about this last night, but realistically, I would like to do whatever stories it is. I would like to do them just in one, and then it's done, rather than having half a story and then do it as another podcast, because it makes it harder for people to get the whole story. Whereas if they're just sitting listening and they get the story from start to end, I think that would work better for everybody. Who's that by again? Ayn Rand. Is that Ayn or Anne Rand? I don't know how you pronounce it, but I've written it down. The other thing is Anderson. Hans Christian Andersen. Yeah, I already did some podcasts under iccopenhagen.com, but I mean, that was the plan with that. I was going to do them all one at a time in chronological order, but then I ended up doing diamond painting, and I spend more time doing stuff with diamond painting than anything else. And I sort of thought, I'm not going to keep doing the podcasts. And then last night, I don't know, it was that Poe thing, it was that band we're going to see. I suddenly thought, Edgar Allan Poe, yeah, I got stories at school. And then I saw The Black Cat and I thought, oh yeah, I remember that. And then I thought, I wonder if people would be interested listening to stories while they diamond paint. So, yeah, I think I'll give it a try. I no idea what I'll do first, but Roald Dahl, that'd be a good one as well. Yeah, I'll write that. A bit more pain. And I also found when I was looking at this thing about public domain, there's actually a site that I found that tells you the titles that are becoming public domain in 2023. Because every year there are stories that become public domain because of the time thing. The Wizard of Oz is now public domain, I think, or is becoming public domain. That's too long though. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that must be quite long. Tammy's watching Wednesday. With her youngest daughter, who got her wisdom teeth out yesterday. So she's recovering from that. So they're just relaxing and watching TV while I sit in here and blabber. What was it? Rolled down. I mean, the Hans Christian Andersen, I'm recovering from moving. Yeah, that'll take a while. I forget what I was going to say. Yeah, the Hans Christian Andersen thing. I mean, I was surprised, like when you actually read the stories, because you sort of think Hans Christian Andersen, children's stories, all fantasy and nice, and then you read them, and you're like, well, that's a bit violent. So they're a bit like that as well. Fell through the porch. That was a nice start. I hope the porch is okay. How did you manage that? Was it the wood was rotten or something? Thanks to bad wood, yeah. Dal didn't just do kids stuff. Twisty's about 40 minutes. Have a look. Yeah, I've written it down, Isabel. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, if I just find something to get started, I just noticed this is out of focus now. What's worse? Don't know if that's any better. So how have you been, Jim? Been okay. Just busy at work. I think I'm starting to get hay fever symptoms. Voice just seems to be constantly rough. I have a permanent headache. Really? Yeah, if that doesn't... Are you taking like painkillers, like headache pills or anything? I know some people don't like to take anything like that. But I would definitely go and see the doctor if it goes for much longer. I mean, a headache for 3 days is a long time. I had problems with sinuses at one time. I felt as if somebody was getting their thumb and pressing down on the top of my eyeball. That really hurt. Oh, migraines. Yeah, I've never had a migraine. I mean, I know they're really bad, or they can be really bad. I ended up going to the doctor with that sinus thing because the pain was unbelievable. And they just said, yeah, sinuses, it'll go away. It did, but I had it for a few days. Yeah, I've never had a migraine. But I mean, I know like people talk about having to go and lay down in a dark room and stuff because light bothers them and things. No, I don't. I don't want a migraine. Tammy's cousin, I think it's her cousin in America. She suffered from really bad migraines, and they inserted something into her skull, and I think it's like an electrical. You can press a button, and it's like an electrical thing, and it does something with the nerves, so it makes the pain go away, and that's permanently like fitted in somewhere on her skull because it was that bad. Don't need that. 44. Now, just noticed that's 7 o'clock. I'm going to go and get something to eat. Talk to Medicare. They won't pay for that. Yeah. See, that's the big difference with Denmark. Healthcare here is free. We get taxed like pretty hard. But the flip side of that is if you need any operations or anything, like to get like when I had my stroke, I got a CT scan, an MRI scan, and an X-ray, all one after the other. Didn't cost me anything. and I was in hospital just for one night. It didn't cost me anything. Then I had a mini stroke in August, and I was taken to hospital by ambulance. It never cost me anything. So, and I had to get a CT scan and everything again. So, yeah, we don't need like insurance. It's the state pays for it. That room's no sound or light. Oh, okay. I mean, I heard about the light thing, but sound as well. Yeah, not good. Yeah, we pay about 50% tax. Like when you get like your pay slip, um, what you get at the top and what you actually take away is about half. So we get taxed pretty high. Cheese Danish. Cheese Danish. I don't actually know what we're having. We're having haggis tomorrow. No, thinking about it, I'm going to have some turkey. Some turkey that I got at work. Yeah, yeah. You lose a bit, like when you see what you get at the top and what you actually get in your bank. It's nearly half they take. I think Denmark is one of the highest taxed countries in the world. I don't think they're the highest, but they're up there somewhere. And then if you want to import a car, you pay 150% tax. They just make it mega expensive because they don't want people adding to the problems with cars. Okay, Isabel, thanks for dropping in. I've made a note of those books. I'll have a look at them. Not sure when I'm going to do anything, but it's definitely an idea. Thanks for dropping in and have a good weekend. I'm having waffles, sweet potato fries, and fried egg. That sounds good. potato waffles. They're waffly versatile. That came from an advert in the UK way back. I can't remember the company. Somebody or other's potato waffles are waffly versatile. Okay, I'm going to stop here. So this was quite an interesting live. We spoke about Claire's feet, Crocs, Edgar Allan Poe, Hans Christian Andersen, migraines, Ozzy Osbourne. That's why I like doing lives. They are so random. The Ivory Coast, yeah. Yeah, I know Denmark's pretty high up, but I knew they weren't the top. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that we don't have to pay for healthcare. We're number 2, really. Yeah. I knew they were up there somewhere, but I didn't know where. Yeah, so that's the downside. Okay, so I'm going to go and have some turkey, I think. So thanks for dropping in and commenting. Chantel, Virginia, Isabel, Claire, anybody else that I may have forgot. It's been an interesting one. So have a good weekend. Have a good Saturday. And I'll catch you whenever I have time. If anybody has any ideas for short stories, please put them in the comments below, and I'll have a look. I'll try and find something nice and short. I'll give it a try, do a podcast, see if people enjoy listening to them while they diamond paint. If they do, I'll do more. So that's it for today. Thanks for bird's eye waffles. Bird's eye fish fingers. So thanks for watching. And in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.